Hey guys, welcome to our very first video lecture. Woo! So this week we're going to be learning about learning, which is super awesome. I love this topic so much. So I thought I'd start with a video just introducing the concept. So yeah, we all kind of have an idea of what learning is, but how would you define learning in words? What would you say learning is? This is kind of an abstract concept, right? So we need to define it. So, what is learning? Psychologists define it as a relatively permanent change in knowledge or behavior as a result of experience. That's a typo, sorry guys. Knowledge or behavior. Um, so what we're focusing on now in this week is really that permanent change in behavior as a result of experience. We're really going to be looking at those types of learning, which is most of learning. And one of those types of learning that causes a change in behavior is called conditioning, which is the process of learning associations between stimuli, so anything in your environment, a light, a sound, your pet, a person, a car, and a response. So this could be another thing, another light, another sound, um, another animal, a feeling, anything, an action that you do happening after. And this is going to be a major part of learning that we're going to be talking about, so you definitely need to understand what conditioning is as well as learning. So, organisms use learning and conditioning to adjust their behaviors, and this is really, really valuable for us. This allows us to survive in this world. It allows us to change our behaviors to adapt to our environment and learn how to live. We can learn what to expect. We can learn that, oh, I'm expecting my friend and his car is in the parking lot. Oh, he must be here because he drives that car. And then we can also learn to prepare. We can learn that one instance might be a good thing and then generalize that type of thing to other instances in our future that are similar. So, what are some examples of this? Oh, that's a great question, Alicia. I'm glad you asked. Let's talk about it. So, we learn every single day. And I'm pretty sure that most of the time when you think of learning, you think of studying or school or, just memorizing facts. And yes, this is a kind of learning, but it is not really the kind of learning we're going to be focusing on this week. This is really heavily memory based, and it doesn't really influence behavior greatly. So the type of learning we're going to really focusing on is the stuff that influences behavior, the stuff that gets results behaviorally. So an example of this could be telling your dog to sit, and then your dog sits, and then you give it a treat. That makes your dog more likely to sit in the future after you tell him to sit, because the dog can pair you saying sit with his action of sitting and then him getting the treat. And he wants that treat, so he's going to sit. You can also learn a new dance move by observing another person doing it. That is a type of learning as well. Watching another human being doing something and copying that human being. And then there's also a type of learning that's very emotional, where maybe this little girl looks like she's afraid of this dog, but this dog does not look scary. It looks like it's not even interested in her, let alone trying to attack her. But maybe she had a bad experience in the past with a dog, where maybe she got bit by a dog and now she's scared of all other dogs. That's a type of learning. She learned to be fearful of dogs because of a bad experience in the past. And then there's even a really simple form of learning, and that is just learning to ignore the sound of your air conditioning as it constantly goes on in your house. So these are all of the types of learning. This is a big old tree, and we're going to talk about all of it. There are two main branches of learning. There's non-associative and there's associative. So it's really important to understand the differences between the two. So non-associative has habituation and sensitization in it, and we're going to talk about those in the next video. And then associative has classical conditioning, all the conditioning stuff that we talked about earlier, operant conditioning, and observational learning that we're going to talk about in separate videos. And then shaping is also a part of operant conditioning. So, what is the difference between non-associative and associative learning? So, non-associative learning is learning about one stimulus. So this is that air conditioning example. This is just learning that I don't need to pay attention to the air conditioner all the time. So I can learn to ignore it. And then you can also do the opposite of that. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. But you're only learning about one stimulus. You're not learning about how the air conditioning is related to another thing as well in your environment. That's not what a non-associative is. Associative, on the other hand, is associating one stimulus with another. And this can be multiple stimuli. It doesn't have to be just two. So this is learning a relationship between things. So if this one thing happens, then it's pretty likely that this other thing is going to happen too. So when I hear thunder, when I see lightning, I'm pretty sure thunder is about to happen. That makes sense? That's associations. Lightning and thunder happen together. So in our next video, we're going to talk more about the two types of non-associative learning, habituation and sensitization. So check that video.